Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Nafisa Trisnawinda. My NPM is 2202040015. I am class A and the subject is Method in English Language Teaching. I am from University PGRI of West Sumatra. The origins of communicative language teaching are to be found in the changes in the British language teaching tradition dating from the late 1960s. Situational language teaching represented the major British approach to teaching English as a foreign language. Wilkins' contribution was an analysis of the communicative meanings that a language learner needs to understand and express. He described two types of meanings. Number one, notional categories, concepts such as time, sequence, quantity, location, frequency, and categories of communicative function, requests, denials, overs, and complaints. Both American and British proponents now see it as an approach that aims to A. Make communicative competence the goal of language teaching, and B. Develop procedures for the teaching of the foreign language skills that acknowledge the interdependence of language and communication.
In Ham's view, a person who acquires communicative competence acquires both knowledge and ability or language use with respect to 1. Whether and to what degree something is formally possible, 2. Whether and to what degree something is feasible in view of the means of implementation available successful in relation to a context in which it is used and evaluated. 3. Whether and to what degree something is appropriate, adequate, happy. 4. Whether and to what degree something is in fact done actually performed and what its doing entails.
A lexical approach in language teaching refers to one derived from the belief that the building blocks of language learning and communication are not grammar, functions, notions, or some other unit of planning and teaching, but lexis, that is, words and word combinations. Chomsky, the father of contemporary studies in syntax, has recently adopted a lexicon is prime position in his minimalist linguistic theory. The role of lexical units has been stressed in both first and second language acquisitions research.
Chomsky's influential theory of language emphasizes the capacity of speakers to create and interpret sentences that are uniquely and have never been produced or heard previously. In contrast, the lexical view holds that only a miniature of spoken sentences are essentially novel creations and that multi-words units function as chunks or memory patterns form a high proportion of the fine traits of speech here in everyday conversation. Kress suggests that massive amounts of language input, especially through reading, is the only effective approach to source learn, creating an environment in which learners can operate effectively and that helping learners manage their own learning.
Competency-based education, by comparison, is an educational movement that focuses on the outcomes or outputs of learning in the development of language programs. CBE addresses what the learners are expected to do with the language, however they learn to do it. Competency-based language Competency-based language teaching is an application of the principles of competency-based education to language teaching. Central to both language and learning theory is the view that language can be functionally analyzed into appropriate parts and subparts, that such parts and subparts can be taught incrementally.
The competency description is tagged and divided into 4 domains. 1. Knowledge and learning competence. 2. Oral competence. 3. Reading competence. 4. Writing competence. All competence are described in terms of elements that break down the competency into smaller components and refer to the essential linguistic feature of the text. Perform grade that specify the minimal. Perform required to rank of variable. Chat sets limit for the performance of the competency. Achieve a competency sample text and assessment. Does that prove example of the text and assessment text that relate to the competency?